All right, this week around we're looking at acceleration. So we'll be watching kind of how much power is put behind the blades, if it changes speed through the drive. Sachi's boat is the only boat we were able to get up close and personal with, but we still have some pretty good footage of everyone else. Here we go.
This video is going to be a lot shorter than the others, so we're just mainly looking at making sure, everyone, of course, is grabbing on, and then we want to make sure the leg drive starts it, and then the handle is speeding up with the speed of the boat, and you're bringing it in really nice, firm into the body. So we're watching Alice and Cara and Michaela and Isabel. We're probably going to run out of strokes already, but we're just watching the speed, watch the blade go through, watch the hands come into the body.
You want to go back?
Sure.
Going backwards, drawing backwards. All right.
All right. So the speed of Alice going through the water, you are doing okay, but it could be better. You're opening up a little early with that back. You're having to lift up a bit, so your legs aren't really starting it, and that gives you less to swing through the last quarter of the slide with your body, because your shoulders are already back right there. And you could have had it a little bit later so that you could keep swinging through.
Sorry, so much backing up.
If we go back and look at Cara, let's see what your body's doing. Okay, so you open up. Oh, you opened up a lot from your legs early. You do always have a pretty strong pull through with your arms. You tend to kind of crank it out. Sometimes that means your blade's coming out early though, and that's why it's able to speed up, because you're not all the way buried, so it kind of speeds your hands up into your body towards your lap there a little bit. Yeah, so it's coming down a little, so that makes it easier to get that blade out, which isn't necessarily a good thing because you're not fully connected. But let's see, and you can chime in whenever you want.
Isabel, saying a little bit of the same thing as Alice. You and I have talked about that, where you're allowing yourself to stretch a little too much at the front. So you're having to open up early so you can take that load with your back.
Let's back up to Michaela just one second. So Michaela, you're super coachable, and you listen to a T and almost sometimes take it to the exaggerated level. So what's happening here is your butt is slipping out a little bit. So it's kind of what we call shooting the slide. So your legs are being able to move down the slide a little too easy because you're not loaded on yet. The blade isn't fully covered, and so there's not enough weight to kind of pull against your back, and you're not keeping your lower back connected to your legs quite enough, so your butt's allowed to slip out a little bit. So what we really want is we want that whole section of your body to move together and not let that slide or that seat kind of slip out behind you a few inches before you're locked on. So we just want to keep that whole unit together, okay? But otherwise, you're doing a great job with hanging on it, the idea of length and then swing. So your ideas are right. You just kind of have to mush them together a little bit more. Okay. So now we're looking at Paige, Sam, Holly, and Lena. I think we get you guys on the other side too, so we might add to what we're saying if we see anything else. Paige does a nice job being long. She does work with the legs first, but she could get more swing. You stay pretty vertical a lot of the time. Although you are well supported through it right there through your abs, but I feel like you could have done a little bit more opening of the hips right there, and you could have kind of and opened up a little bit stronger, like with the deadlift, to get more out of it. Sam, your head right here, you're still pretty rigid there on the back. You're getting more length at the front end, but I'm seeing a little bit of the same ideas with Michaela, the little slippage of the seat.
Yeah.
So the butt's coming back, and it's almost like the legs are going down too easily there, when we need to get that blade connected with weight on it, and then move your whole kind of hip area together as it's moving backwards. so that you can really feel the leg and swing instead of kind of the legs going down so easy and the back's just opening up kind of soft. We want to really see the difference and feel the hang. Okay, we're looking at the other side here. This just gives you guys all a different view of what's going on.
And what she was talking about with Sam, Lena, is a little bit of the same thing for you. The legs come down, I like the word soft, as opposed to having something to really leverage on, to really hang on to. I don't know if we'll see it in this video, but we've talked about it before.
Yeah, Car, if that blade was going more direct to the water, I think that whole thing would work out for you better, because you always try super hard and push really hard, but we want to make sure that blade's fully connected so it's as effective as it can be. Because if you're missing a bunch of water, then you just can't get that connection and that hang and stuff, because it's just not there for you. So if we could get that blade in, then everything would work out a lot better. Let's see. Holly, we haven't talked to you yet. So well, let's see. If you want to chime in, you can. I'm not laughing because it's bad. It's not bad. You get a lot of length for how small you are, okay? But sometimes it puts you in a weak position.
Yeah, I like that one.
Your hands are coming in. You always are good about remembering to bring them up to your mark. It looks like the legs... Let's go back there. Do you feel like the legs are going down too fast?
Let's see.
Maybe not.
There's a little squeeze there.
Legs, then swing. You do a decent job. I feel like you can maybe get a more oomph, like I said with Paige, like a little more oomph when you are bringing that swing back.
So really squeezing the glutes, getting the hips to really kind of snap open almost.
Yeah. Because right now it's like everything's pretty much in the proper order. You're doing things the correct way, but it just could have more power to it, more connect, like Audrey said, that squeeze, making it a deliberate movement. And Lena...
Really was a short video.
Yeah. You are getting the idea of, you always swing a lot, sometimes too much, which makes you kind of go down a little bit, but I'm just checking the...
Oops.
You got it.
Swing. So there's a little pop there. Little pop as the hips open up. So you can see there's connecting, squeezing. We lose it a little bit through the halfway point, but then the hips kind of make up for it at the end.
Yeah, and sometimes you start to open up a little early with the shoulders because you kind of are down a little bit low there, like you're kind of hunched over a bit. And so sometimes there's a little lift early, like right there, and you could have been staying in a stronger position, staying forward more. But this isn't bad. Okay, we're on to the 4 with Faye, Bella, Adelaide, and Audrey.
So Bella, there's that early opening we're talking about.
Yeah, look at you compared to the 2 around you, and your shoulders opening, and it's like your head is going back before theirs. You can definitely see it from this vantage point, so you're like, huh! Okay. And let's see, Faye... You're getting a little bit of the seat slippage where your legs are going down a little bit early compared to the rest of your body. So like the seat there moves quite a bit. Like your leg drive goes down pretty fast. And I think it's because your blade's just not fully connected quite early enough. So if your hands had gone up a little bit more and you were on it, it would be totally fine and it would slow your legs down because you'd have that weight against it. But otherwise, you do a nice job of hanging on the handle, letting the legs work first, and then allowing the body to come in naturally as it starts to swing back. That's good, but I feel like the knees might be coming down a little too soon.
All right, so
Okay.
and then Audrey, a little bit of the same thing as Bella. Up at that front end, the shoulders tend to be the first thing through the hips rather than the hips pressing back. So we're really looking for kind of that strong supported core and the hips getting through to bow before the body starts opening. But if that core is not supported, that's where we start seeing the slipping, like we saw with Faye here a little bit.
And a big portion too, Audrey, is just that blade's not locked on yet. Like your blade is up in the air and then you're locked right there and your leg's already halfway down. So it does make it hard to get that feeling of acceleration if you're not locked on from the beginning. Adelaide, that wasn't bad. You're getting connected decently early, but we could see your core in a more supported position so that you could get that feeling of that leg and then swing and feeling that opening up like you're doing a deadlift. So here it looks like everything's like you're still a little curled down. And if that lower back was a little more supported, we could see the difference of the body swing where it's legs, and then about 3/4 of the way down, that open of the hips.
And I like the metaphor of thinking about it like a deadlift because you four in particular are so conscientious of your low backs when you are deadlifting. They're so strong and supported. So it's just carrying that same technique into the boat here because it's the same concept of loading the weight through the glutes, through the quads, supporting that back.
All right, we're on to another 4 here. This is
it's Trinity, Lily, Anna, and
Claudia.
Yes, Claudia. That's why I didn't recognize you.
So Trinity, let's see. Blade could have gone in earlier, so you're kind of vertical before you're fully loaded there. But you are hanging on your arms a decent amount there. And you're getting a little bit of swing and your hands are trying to accelerate in, but since you didn't start with like a strong enough catch, it's hard to get the blade to accelerate at the end of the stroke enough.
Backing it up.
Lily.
Could use a little more snap through that back end again from the hips.
Yeah, Lily, yeah, that's kind of, it's almost like it stops if you watch. It's like your legs and then your body barely moves. It's like legs are down and then I'm just moving my hands. So you want to think about legs, body, arms. Legs, body, arms. So the body should be part of that movement instead of just legs, arms. So allow that swing to give you some more emphasis. And then that's Anna.
So really breaking that outside arm early through the drive there. So where we would have probably a pretty good hang right off of that front bit, you're trying to find that last minute snap by dragging the arms through, as opposed to letting the hips take that load and swinging the body. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of muscling it through. So there's a decent connection, and then, we lose it because you're trying to rip it through.
Yeah.
Which is where I was on you guys about accelerating through the hips. Accelerate through the hips.
Yeah, use that opening, that body swing to allow it to be easier to bring those arms in at the end. Oh, and then Claudia, we're not going to critique you. We're gonna move on.
Thank you for rowing in this boat. Good job.
And we will do a full speed version of this so you guys can actually watch your acceleration at a normal speed after we do this one.
All right. In the 8.
We see Ella. No, who is that? and 7C.
Sorry, we were really
Ava.
far away.
That's
Kind of hard
Ava.
to see.
Ella, Ava,
Luisa was in
Louisa.
there. Ava, Olivia,
Who's that?
Taylor, Ava with an A.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then Melise, and then Flava.
Nope, that's Delphi, because this is
Oh,
Flava's and 7C. All right, we got that.
Okay.
We got that. All right, we get this whole boat as one, right?
yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty much looking at all of you at once here. So Ella, opening up with your body early. So all you have at the end to accelerate with are your hands coming into your body. So that's not as strong as if you had kept your body forward longer. Then you could have used that swing the last quarter of the drive to help propel your hands in instead of having to pull that last bit with just your arms.
And it's the same story for you, Olivia. Really having to rip that blade in last minute with the arms.
Flava, not bad, but we could see you hang on that a little bit more and allow yourself to get that hip pop because your shoulders are kind of opening a little early. So if you had the shoulders in front of the hips just a little bit longer and then got that nice pop open with that swing, that would be sharper into the release there. Let's see, Louisa. Not bad. Louisa is locked. She's hanging. She swings.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example. Boom. Legs.
So short.
Yeah, so that's pretty good, Louisa. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Ava with an A. Still working on getting that body out and over. Because we're pretty much sitting on top of the hips into the catch. It's better, but still something to keep in mind here. And finding that nice early lock is going to help. Because right now, even though you're getting your legs down with the blade, there's nothing to swing. It's already stacked on top of the hips. There's nothing to open up against.
Yeah, so like right there, all that's happening is your hands are diving into your lap. And so there's like nothing that last half of the drive at all. It's just like blade in, semi-strong right there, and then okay. You already talked to Olivia.
So Taylor.
Taylor, you'll notice that you're pretty early if you're looking at your blade compared to everybody else in your body. So you're rushing up the slide a little bit. Yeah, you get up to the top really fast after that first half of your slide. So it's just something to point out for you to see from the outside. Let's see. For as far as acceleration, blade in, and you open up that body a lot and you break those arms. You're trying to use your upper body so much, so you don't have a lot left at the end. It just kind of dumps down. So if you could hang on it longer and keep a straight outside arm, allow those legs to feel the weight, and then open up in that last portion, it'll be a lot stronger. And you'll be utilizing your power way better that way. In the long run, it'll actually feel easier to you. Because right now you're trying to crank it with your arms and your back instead of letting your legs start all of it.
Melise. Little early with the shoulders opening up. And we could definitely see a little more pop through that back end. Squeezing the glutes, really letting them engage. Letting that fire the opening. Sorry, this is really brief.
And the reason that you're not being able to get that pop is because you're opening your shoulders early. So then you don't have anything to swing that last few inches because you're already open. So thinking about that nice hang and letting the legs feel that weight instead of the shoulders first, and then getting that nice pop at the end.
And Delphi,
I just want to point out as well, you'll also notice that you are rushing up the slide, okay? So you're ahead if you look at you compared to Melise when you're approaching the catch, okay? You get there before she does. So you want to pay attention to just see how she hasn't even started the slide and you're already up there right there. So just kind of think about that body control. And then when we're talking about acceleration, all right, blades in. So you lifted your body a lot.
Body way up.
Yeah, so you had no swing left at the end. So same thing we talked to everybody else about. If you keep your shoulders forward a bit longer, let the legs start the weight, then you're going to be able to actually have something to accelerate with into the bow. Okay. So we saw a lot of the same tendencies, guys. Bodies, it's not that we want legs then body. It's going to blend together a bit, about 3/4 of the way down the drive, maybe even half slide to 3/4. Your body will start to open up, but you just don't want that to happen that first half. You want to allow the legs to load up. Think about that core staying super strong so you can keep that connection from the handle to those strong legs, and then allow that great pop and body swing to accelerate that last portion. Okay, so just think about, don't open the shoulders first. Really allow yourself to hang, get that energy from those legs, and swing it through to the bow.
Yeah. I always just think heels to quads, quads to glutes, then my shoulders take it last. You're pushing that momentum through the lower body, leaving the upper body for last.
Good.
All right.
All right.
Here it is in full speed.
This is so sticky. I can't get it to slow down. Quick note, Lena, if you look here, it looks like you have plenty of room for that handle. So I don't think anything's wrong with your overlock. I think you just kept your hands up a little higher. Bella, you can really see that shoulder pop on this portion at full speed. It's like, and it just pops up really instead of hanging on it with that long body movement.
Yeah, so you can see the bodies that are opening early and those that aren't, and those who are up a little too quick. So,
All right.
okay.
Thank you.